first, second, and third period classes. Here's your video for page 9. We're talking about exponents. Exponents are these little bitty numbers right here. So on page 9, I want you to draw an arrow to that little bitty 3, and I want you to write exponent. The big number right here is called the base. Now, do you ever remember watching a Bugs Bunny cartoon where there's a big dog and a little dog, and the big dog does everything the little dog asks it to do? The big dog says, "Okay, boss, I'll do it. But the little dog never does anything. Well, that's what the exponent is. It's that annoying, bossy little dog. It doesn't do any work. All it does is boss the big guy around. "Okay, boss, I'll do it." The big guy does all the work. The exponent tells the big guy what to do. So, 2 to the 3rd power. Do you see any 3's in here? Neither do I. The 3 says 3 of the 2's are going to multiply. But the 3 is not involved. It's just how many 2's? 1, 2, 3. 2 2's. Now the most common wrong answer I see with exponents is people do 2 times 3. And that's always going to be wrong because you're making the 3 do some work. The 3 doesn't do any work. Remember? The 3 says, "Okay, I gotta do it." And the 2, the big guy says, "Okay, boss, I'll do it. So that's what we're talking about. There are 3 2's multiplying. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. If you did 2 times 3, you would get 6. Not the same thing, okay? So you cannot multiply the base with the exponent because the exponent doesn't do any work. Down here, let's work out. That's what evaluate seems, it actually means work it out. Okay, so let's go through, let's evaluate. 4 to the 3rd power. 3 is bossing the 4. "Okay, boss, I'll do it." The 4 does all the work. How many 4's is it saying have to multiply? 1, 2, 3. 4 to the 3rd power means 4 times 4 times 4. Notice I use dots, not x's for times. Stop using x's if you can. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4. I'm going to work it out over here. 16 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So that equals 64. Evaluating doesn't just mean write 4 times 4 times 4. Evaluating means you have to keep going and work it out. So let's do one more together. 2 to the 4th power means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Do you see any 4's? That's right. The 4 tells the 2 what to do. But the 4 doesn't actually do anything. The 2 is doing all the work. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. What's 4 times 4? 16. I want you to do number 3 tonight. I'm not going to do it in the video. You do that one yourself. And I'm going to keep going. At the bottom, you've got 3 different directions. Here's an expression. Write it with an exponent. And then write how you would say it. Words means how would you say that exponent. So here we go. 7 is the base because 7 is doing all the work. So I'm going to write a big 7. How many 7's are being bossed around? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the little guy. So how do you say that in words? You say 7 to the 5th power. An exponent can be called an exponent. It can be called a power. So 7 to the 5th power. You could also say 7 to the power of 5, but that takes longer to say. How about this one? Oh, by the way, does it tell you that you have to work it out or evaluate it in this chart? I don't see that anywhere, do you? So I'm not going to do that. Let's keep going. The number that is doing all the work is 1. That's my base. How many 1's have to multiply? 4 of them. So 1 to the 4th power. 1 to the 4th power. Now, this is not specifically on the notes page, but I need you to understand there are 2 very special exponents that get special words. Down here in the space under your chart, I want you to draw a square. What makes a square a square? All the sides are the same, right? So when you do the area of a square, you do length times width, don't you? But on a square, the length and the width are the same. So an exponent of 2 has to do with a number times itself, or 2 of the same. So an exponent of 2 is called squared. So if I had 5 to the second power, I could say 5 to the second power, but I could also say 5 squared, because that square would be 5 by 5. The other one that can have a special name, draw a square. Draw 3 lines coming out of those corners, and then connect those lines. What does that look like? That's a cube. A cube has a length and a width and a height, 3 dimensions that are all the exact same thing. So when you have a number like 7 times 7 times 7 and they're all the exact same thing, it's like the 3 dimensions of a cube. So you can call that 7 to the 3rd power, or you can say 7 cubed. Cubed is something that has to do with an exponent of 3, because there are 3 of the same dimensions here that are all multiplying, and there in a square are 2 of the same dimensions that are all multiplying. That's your notes for exponents. Don't forget, I want you to finish these 2 in the chart and the last 2 problems in the middle of the page. I'll see you later. Bye.